Oh, hey, YouTube. It's good. Same as none here, back in with another video. And it's been a while since we've been on camera. I know what you're saying. Where the hell have you been? But you got to realize I got a life. So that shit I got to do. But now it's myself, it's Brother Garrison, Romy Boy J Money, and JVD. When he comes on, we're going to be talking about the top 10 worst WWE matches of all time. I've been a fan ever since the 90s. I wasn't really obsessed with it as I used to be. But when I moved down to Florida, that was the only thing that I had was wrestling and video games. So, yeah, it sucks as of now. And let's see, on my list, actually, before we get to that, let me introduce all the rest of you guys. I got Mr. Garrison here with me. Yep. Oh, by the way,
I'm taking like 725 pictures of that.
Thank you very much. I'll bet you will.
Well, what can I say about wrestling, or especially WWE today? All right. Now, I've been watching the company since I was a fucking little toddler. I was able to watch a little bit of the... From what I remember, from what I've been told, I did watch a little bit of the Attitude Era when I was growing up.
I was more of a casual fan back in the Attitude Era.
I was somewhat the same way, but as I was somewhat the same way, but as I got older, I was watching WWE like it was nothing, like a sheep. But as soon as I got to learn more about the company as time progressed, I realized this fucking company is nothing more than a goddamn joke. And trust me, it really is nothing more than a complete joke. And for me today, when it comes to wrestling in general, when it comes to stuff I personally know, speaking first person here, when I want to watch wrestling, I stick to the old stuff. Some stuff from the World Wrestling Federation.
Damn right.
Stuff from WCW when that was good. Before Vince Russo got his hands on it.
And Kevin Nash.
To me, one of the best ECW, which was when it was fucking awesome. That was the wrestling I love watching. To me, the greatest ECW event that I've ever seen. It really is.
Heatwave '98, which Gary and I saw. Hey, Gary, feedback.
Was that me or him?
Feedback. Okay, it's gone now.
Back up.
Yes, Heatwave '98, which Gary and I saw not too long ago, and it was a fucking awesome show.
Yeah, I have that in my watch list.
It's literally the greatest ECW event I've ever seen. It really defines not only what ECW is, but it also defines what hardcore wrestling was all about during the time. The old school TNA, not this bullshit GWC or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't know, and I really do not care.
Global Force Gold Wrestling.
Whatever the fuck it's called, and that is a fucking stupid name. It's supposed to be called TNA Impact. That's what I remember what it was called last
non-stop action.
Last time I saw TNA, no joke, when I saw TNA, it was like, what, 2015 was when I last watched it. But all of a sudden, I heard this final deletion that I did see.
Okay.
It was literally one of the stupidest things. It was one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. Yep. But I couldn't help but find myself laughing at it. Why? Because of how
I was cringing. I was just like, what is this stupid shit, dude?
I couldn't understand what the fuck I was watching. So TNA now is still fucking GWC, whatever you want to call it. I don't know, and I really do not care at all. And then you got, well, that's the only companies I can think of. But if you want to talk about wrestling that I watch in modern times, now Lucha Underground is one of the main companies that I love taking a look at. But since I've not been focusing, I can't really count that as something that I really follow within trending modern wrestling. But the main organization that I've been following for a while. I haven't really paid much attention to it, but as time progressed, I've gotten more and more and more and more into this company because this company today has been showcasing wrestling then, and it's been showcasing wrestling now because of who it's operated by, who it's owned by, who was created, who the writers. These guys know exactly what they're doing when it comes to booking, writing, scripting, whatever it is when it comes to wrestling. That is none other than New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yep.
That is the shit I watch today. And modern wrestling today, when it comes to matches from in modern times, I've given like 5 out of 5s to, where you can qualify as best of the year. Majority of my matches have came from New Japan.
Oh, so you're just like Dave Meltzer.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but because these guys know how to do booking in wrestling. These guys know exactly what they're doing.
Yep.
So I'm gonna shut the fuck up and
we're talking about the worst stuff, you know, just so
yes,
you know that.
I'm aware we are talking about the. We're talking about the.
Yeah, Gary, shut the fuck up. Do yourself a favor. Like
we're doing the worst matches of all time. I have a shitload of honorables.
Same.
Which I am going to go over. I mean, a lot.
And Romy's here too.
I managed.
Hey, Gary, you know I'm here, right?
Well, let me finish. But I managed to get myself a list, which I will be more than happy to go over. I'm done.
Romy, anything else you want to?
Oh, 50 minutes later. Okay. I was just going over this prescription bottle. Okay, CVS Pharmacy, Lucas Cantwell, Cialis salts, 50 milligrams. Take one before. Oh shit! I had the wrong bottle. Sorry, Lucas. I'll send it to you tomorrow. Okay.
He needs it.
Goddamn you, motherfucker!
How the fuck would I know that?
Well, I mean, think about it. I mean, why do you think he always walks like a penguin? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the long-awaited, long-anticipated top 10 worst WWE matches of all time. And before I begin, Double Nine was going to join us, but unfortunately, he is under the weather. He's been blowing chunks, and I hope for him for a safe and fast recovery. The poor fella. I hope you get well soon, my friend. Featuring Alexander the Great, and then you got the young. Yes, that's Mr. Garrison. There you go, Brady Boo. That's how it's done. And yours truly, Romy Boy J Money, and JVD should.
That's right, mate.
Mate. Yeah, saying he's Australian is saying I'm fucking Japanese. Jesus Christ. And I'm not turning Japanese.
Oh, I really think so.
I beat you to it, Get Bear. And
I like that.
Introduce everybody in the style of Jim Ross, since this is wrestling. Good God Almighty! So we're gonna go over some thousands of honorable mentions. Dishonorable mentions. And this is something that was constructed by a couple of fans in the chat from the worst pay-per-views of all time. Someone actually requested it, so you could say this is a year in the making or so forth. You know, unlike Boyhood, which took 13, even though they only did 2 weeks a year. So, other than that, let's begin.
Okay, who wants to start out with their dishonorables?
Whoever has the least.
I have 11.
I got a lot. I didn't count many, but from what I can tell you, I got a good bundle. I mean, I got a bundle.
Okay, so it looks like I'm going ladies first. Yes, right. Me and my big titties.
Okay.
Me and my big titties. All right, here are my dishonorable mentions. I had to go through a lot of research. Went through multiple lists. Not only does, I'm going to copy that one. No, just to say, yeah, I remember this one. Write it down. I had to do a lot of research. So here is what I have, ladies and gentlemen. The Intercontinental title match from In Your House 96, Goldust and the Ultimate Warrior. All it was a fucking 10-minute cat and mouse chase. It was bullshit. Shit. SmackDown, this took place SmackDown 2010. Hornswoggle versus Jack Swagger, a soaring eagle versus a midget leprechaun.
I don't remember seeing that, honestly.
The Concrete Crit match. The Undertaker versus the Dudley Boys. Great American Bash 2004.
That was bad.
Stupid as fuck.
And that was the main event of that show.
Yep.
But it also had a badass Texas Bull Rope match.
That and there was another match that was actually really good. I forgot to mention it. Chavo Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio. But in the Texas Bull Rope, everything else was utter garbage. Team WWE versus Team Nexus, SummerSlam 2010.
That's one of my honorables as well.
Fuck you, fuckboy Buckethead.
That's right.
Oh my God. Backlash 2007, the ECW Championship match, Bobby Lashley versus the McMahons. Where Vince McMahon became ECW champion, it was him just giving the big middle finger to ECW since he owned it.
Which was a damn disgrace.
Yep. Kelly versus Layla, WWE ECW, November 27, 2007.
They actually had a match.
Oh my God, the fucking botches in that was just, especially from Kelly, who did not know how to fucking wrestle. You know, she was good at sleeping around, obviously.
Yeah.
John Cena, to me, the worst Hell in a Cell match of all time. John Cena versus Randy Orton, Hell in a Cell 2014.
That's another one of mine. That was so bad.
My worst match of this year, John Cena versus Rusev, the Russian chain match. And my number 11, this one almost made it. It was this close, but it got bumped off to 11. And that, of course, the worst main event I've ever seen at WrestleMania. Roman Reigns versus The Undertaker,
Okay.
WrestleMania 33.
Okay. Not what I was thinking. Okay.
So those are my dishonorable mentions.
Okay. Mr. Garrison?
Okay. Like I said, I have a shitload of honorable mentions, and I mean a lot.
Just like your britches.
Oh, by the way, happy Memorial Day, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Yes, happy Memorial Day to everybody. How you doing? Wonderful.
God bless the troops. Thank you for your service if you ever served.
All right. Yes,
Amen.
sir. All right. Now, as for my honorable mentions, I'm going to try and go for these through these quickly as I can. All right. The honorable mentions. I have 3 Royal Rumbles. I got Royal Rumble 1999.
Oh my.
That's big, man.
Okay, well, to me, that's the second worst Royal match. To me, it's one of the worst booked matches. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up I have here is Royal Rumble 2006.
Yeah, exploiting Eddie Guerrero's death. Wonderful.
Royal Rumble 2013.
Where's 2000? Oh, never mind. That could be on his top 10. You never know.
Who won third? Oh, that's right. Fuck it.
John fucking Cena. It was so obvious.
Next, all right, now as for my honorable mentions, I got more. I got Bam Bam Bigelow versus Lawrence Taylor, WrestleMania 11.
That was
He
one
ends,
good match.
he ends a match with a jumping forearm clothesline.
Next up I have here is Sheamus versus Roman Reigns, TLC 2016.
That is the worst TLC match I've ever seen in my life.
That was bad.
Batista versus the Great Khali, No Mercy 2007, the Punjabi Prison.
Okay, if I had to go back and redo the worst gimmick matches, Punjabi Prison would be my number one.
Number one.
Yeah.
Next up, Diesel versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 11.
Oh.
Thank you. That match was utter shit. I don't know how was it. I forgot which wrestling magazine named it one of the best matches of the year. I was like, no, it was horrible.
All right, next up I have here is Ultimate Warrior versus Triple H at WrestleMania 12.
The 1 minute match.
Big Show versus Aki Bono in that sumo match.
Aki Bono, hey Gary, Aki Bono. I heard that he was wasted during that match.
Who, Aki Bono?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not
Next
surprised.
Up, I have Hornswoggle versus the Soaring Eagle from SmackDown.
Thank you.
I got Michael Cole versus Jerry Lawler, WrestleMania 25.
Whoa.
Wait, 25? You mean 27?
27, thank you very much.
That's on your honorables?
That's an dishonorable?
Dishonorable for me.
Whoa. Consider me shocked.
That I cannot believe.
Dishonorable for me. All right, next up we have here Pat Patterson versus Gerald Briscoe, King of the Ring 2000.
That's a dishonorable too? Holy shit, boss!
Match.
We'll get to that match later on.
I got the Bushwhackers versus the Fabulous Rugo Brothers at WrestleMania 5.
WrestleMania 5, that's a match that Dave Meltzer gave was it -4 stars or something? I forgot what he gave it. He
Next up,
despised that shit.
The Rock versus the British Bulldog in
the
dog shit match.
The dog shit match. Next up, the worst match I've ever seen in tag team, and it's SummerSlam. The Oddities versus Kai and Tai.
I don't remember that one.
ICP. Sing Clown Posse.
Fucking hate them cocksuckers.
I can't stand this clowns either, Gary. I know what you mean.
The Royal Family versus Clowns R Us, Survivor Series 1994.
Clowns R Us.
That's not in your. That's not. You gotta be shitting me. That's not in your top 10.
Not mine.
I got where I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of shit.
Oh, hold on a second. Yes. How can I help you? Yeah, keep drinking that Coke and burp. You sound like a toad. All right. Hey, what's up? What's up, Luke Nukem? You gotta make something up for it, Gary.
Next up, I have now this match here. I had to see just in case for the list itself or dishonorables, and sure enough, this was fucking horrible. One of the recent ones: Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe, Backlash 2018.
Where people walked out.
Chinlock the movie.
John Cena. Now let's get to some John Cena's. John Cena versus Triple H at WrestleMania 22.
That was fucking awful. I hated that match, especially how they fucked over Edge. That was
next up, John Cena versus AJ Styles. I believe it was Royal Rumble of 2017.
I applaud you.
And I do have one more honorable mention, and that is Bam Bam Bigelow and Luna Vachon versus Doink and Dink at WrestleMania 10. That is all my honorable mentions I have.
Dink.
More like dick.
Okay. Now we get to my honorable mentions. Start out with the tie, because I rarely do ties, but this one I had to make an exception. Any CM Punk versus Ryback match. I mean, seriously, you want to talk about a contrast of styles? Holy shit.
Yeah.
Next honorable is an NXT match. Before you freak out, this is when this was a TV show. This was the women, when the women had their seasons, Maxine versus Caitlyn.
Wait. Hold on a second here.
What happened?
Okay, as you were.
Maxine versus Caitlyn from the 3rd season of NXT when it was all women. Mm-hmm. King Mabel versus Diesel from SummerSlam 95. Pat Patterson versus Joe Briscoe in the evening gown match from King of the Ring 2000. Like Romy said, the worst Hell in a Cell match of all time. John Cena versus Randy Orton, Hell in a Cell 2014.
Oh, fuck that shit.
Another thing that Romy mentioned, which was Triple H versus the Nexus from SummerSlam 2010, a.k.a. The Burial of all burials.
Yeah, of all burials. That's one of the absolute worst burials ever.
Undertaker versus Big Boss Man from WrestleMania 15, which is the 2nd worst Hell in a Cell match of all time.
Yeah, that's not the. It's one of many matches where Undertaker is involved in a match where someone gets fucking murdered on live television.
Mm-hmm. That is true. He's been in quite a few of those.
Mm-hmm.
Like 3 at least. Another Undertaker match: Undertaker versus Giant Gonzalez from WrestleMania 9.
Oh, that was horrible.
Chloroform.
Let's see. Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose from WrestleMania 32.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It was bad.
Oh.
It was a bad match.
Well, you can thank Lesnar for that because, Dean Ambrose, he wanted to do so much.
He wanted to go to UFC. You got to protect him because he's got to fight in the UFC.
Yeah, even though he was on fucking roids.
Yeah, he was on. What was he on? Like estrogen pills or something? I don't know.
No, estrogen. Estrogen. No, estrogen is something that Lucas is
estrogen
on.
hormone.
Goddamn you, motherfucker.
Let's see. What else do I have here? And the last honorable mention I have is the Ultimate Warrior versus Hunter Hearst Helmsley from WrestleMania 12. The 1-minute match.
1-minute match.
Okay. Let's get on to the top 10.
So, looks like I'm going first, eh?
I guess.
All right, here we go. Number 10. When this guy made his return debut, he was hot. He was on fire. And then after this feud, oh my God, he got exposed in the worst way from this feud. And this match was just a colossal failure. You might as well call it Botchfest belly-to-belly suplex. The movie. My number 10, Royal Rumble 2003, Triple H versus Scott Steiner for the World Heavyweight Championship match. Okay, here's the biggest problem with this. Number 1, why did they turn Scott Steiner a babyface?
He's a born heel.
He is a born heel.
When he's by himself, at least.
Like, look what he did to his brother Rick Steiner, and the transformation he made, and then he turned, and then he showed up at Survivor Series, and he's like, "Give me that fucking mic," And you wonder why Scott Steiner fucking hates Triple H. This is why, because he was only with the company for a year, and this was the downfall. Yeah, having them doing bodybuilding competitions to bench pressing competitions.
Pose downs,
and all that stupid shit. It looked Nukem was like
baby oil.
It looked Nukem. He's like, he's fat.
He's fat. By the way, did you see that video I sent you guys?
Yes, I was fucking laughing.
Turn that fucking music off. I hate that song.
That guy is a walking internet meme. He really is, folks.
Turn that fucking music off. I hate that song.
And during this match, it was so boring. It was so botch riddled. And Scott Steiner was fumbling and just like he looked like he was on Rubber Leg Street the whole time, which is weird because he's like a legit wrestling athlete.
Mm-hmm. He went to the university. He went to a highly educated university, University of Michigan.
Yeah. And oh my God, this was just so awful. And belly-to-belly suplexes,
clotheslines
and everything. Oh my God!
He didn't even do the Frankensteiner, did he?
No, not at all. And that is why this is my number 10. Just to go over that, with a synopsis: Triple H versus Scott Steiner, the championship match at 2003. Awful.
Wonderful. All right, my number 10. Okay, now we're gonna.
Gary, what the fuck were you doing?
We are gonna go back to some old school, and I mean very way back to the late 80s, early 90s. I don't remember. We're gonna talk about some of the biggest names out there. We had guys like Hulk Hogan, Cowboy Bob Orton, Roddy Piper, Mr. T, Paul Orndorff. So I think you're getting an idea of where I'm going. Not WrestleMania 1. No, we're not talking about that. Just name some of the big guys to give a little hint of where I'm going with this because of something that leads up to this.
I think I know.
This match in general that happened, this shouldn't have even fucking happened.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Mr. T should have been in the corner for Hulk Hogan, and Paul Orndorff or Cowboy Bob Orton should have been in the corner for Roddy Piper, and it should have been Hulk Hogan versus Roddy Piper in the main event for the championship.
Yep.
That's what should have happened. But no, instead, you ended up with fucking Mr. T and Roddy Piper in a boxing match at WrestleMania 2.
That's my number 10 as well, Mr. Garrison.
One of the worst fucking things I've ever seen. So you're telling me
Dave Meltzer gave this -5 stars.
That's my number 10 too.
You could have booked yourselves an awesome main event between one of the biggest heels in professional wrestling during this time and one of the biggest faces, same exact deal, all professional wrestling, and you could have had yourself an amazing match.
Yep.
But no, instead you had a fucking box match and a very not so good cage match with Hulk Hogan and King Kong Bundy.
That was horrible. That was a horrible match.
What? Hogan and King Kong Bundy?
Yeah.
I didn't care for that cage match at all.
It was
I was
the
not
only,
a fan.
And it's funny. It's the only cage match in WrestleMania history.
And then you want to know something?
And that's the reason why probably it was so bad.
Fucking WrestleMania 2, 3 different locations you had, but no. You couldn't just have one. But
the New York.
Yeah, New York. I believe Los Angeles.
New York and Chicago.
Okay.
The refrigerator.
You want to know what was the only sad part was that Battle Royal was the only thing tolerable to watch of that WrestleMania.
The tag team match with
that tag team match was great.
Tag
that
match
was
with
damn
Greg Valentine and Bruce Beefcake.
It was them two versus the British Bulldogs. That was a really good
badass tag team match.
Okay, I don't remember it.
Luke Newcomb's actually doing his worst WrestleMania matches of all time in there.
Okay.
I like his number 10 now. I don't recall seeing that tag match. I'll probably give it a watch.
It was fantastic.
It was really good. I couldn't believe it.
It's phenomenal.
Ozzy Osbourne.
With the fucking booking of what I just said between Roddy Piper and Hulk Hogan, that's what should have happened. But no, you had a fucking boxing match that was complete shit. Disqualification to a body slam that happened. It was a fucking joke. That's all that match was.
Yep. That's all. That's exactly right. It was a fucking joke, and it's my number 10 as well, Mr. Garrison. So, what was the point of it? I mean, I understand they had beef, but why would they make it a boxing match? Honestly.
I don't fucking know.
Because he was in Rocky 3, like really?
So what?
Doesn't make sense. Yeah, boxing match at WrestleMania. Well, I shouldn't really say that because Brawl for All. But yeah, it was shit. This match was shit. I didn't really fucking care. No one there probably fucking cared about it. It was bad. -5 stars all around. That's me, Garrison's number 10 as well.
That's what Dave Meltzer gave it, -5 stars.
All right.
So I guess it's my number 9. Okay.
Number nine.
I knew it. Old school. Number 9. Gary, I cannot fucking believe you had this on your dishonorable mentions.
So like I said, I've seen a lot worse.
Same.
The Royal Family versus Clowns R Us. Survivor Series 1994. You have Lawler, Sleazy, Cheesy, and Queasy. No joke. That was their fucking names. Versus Doink, Dink, Pink, Wink, and Dick. Okay?
Stink.
Oh, my God. Vince McMahon, what the fuck is wrong with you?
It was a goddamn joke, that match was.
You can make little people matches. You can make little people matches awesome. Look at the
WLC.
Yes! That match was awesome. That match was fucking badass, dude. Because the gimmick worked. And the crowd was in it. We were like, yeah, man. It was just like, I was like, I want to see more of this shit. It was on both of our best matches of the year, Alex and I.
Yes, it was.
It was awesome. That's how you can make it done. This shit was just fucking stupid. First of all, you have Jerry the King Lawler, the man who I believe in wrestling history has the most championships of all time. And he's like one of the original ruthless, sadistic heels. Don't believe me? Ask Andy Kaufman, okay?
Well, he passed away.
Well, like I said, ask him when you get a chance to meet him.
Next lifetime, probably.
Luke Nukem. That was my number 10, actually, Luke Nukem. The 25 Diva Battle Royal.
Santina Morel dressed as a tranny.
Oh, Lord.
Well, speaking of Santina, just hold that thought. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, this was practically stupid. Oh, it's family friendly. You can shove that shit up your fucking bullshit ass. Garbage. That is my number 9.
All right, my number 9, you folks are going to be quite surprised about why it's up there because I had so much fucking problems. And I did see this match again. Why? Just for the fucking list in case. And this actually made my list. All right, my number 9. Since we're talking about some backlash, I got some serious fucking backlash with this bullshit. All right, let's talk about New Japan Wrestling for a moment. You'll see where I'm going with this. You all know New Japan Pro Wrestling's their version of WrestleMania is a thing called Wrestle Kingdom.
Yep.
Wrestle Kingdom is their WrestleMania, and so far when it comes to Wrestle Kingdom, they've had almost all the events have been phenomenal, especially Wrestle Kingdom 10. You had one. You had one of the best 5 out of 5 matches I've ever seen between two of the biggest wrestlers. Man who was huge in New Japan and who was a free agent at the time. It was between. And also, he was in the Bullet Club. If memory speaks, he was in the Bullet Club for a little while, and that was AJ Styles versus Shinsuke.
He was actually one of the founders.
He was one of the
founders of the Bullet Club.
Hogan was the NWO basically.
Basically, a fucking Bullet Club, man. I live that. I fucking live that shit no matter what. It's continuing and it's fucking awesome. One of the greatest one of the greatest groups in modern day wrestling today. And that match was for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship. And that match was a fucking 5 out of 5 stars. It was
Gary,
some of the greatest. What?
We're doing the worst WWE matches.
I'm gonna get to it.
I know where he's going.
And then it was one of the greatest matches I've ever seen in wrestling, with some of the most outstanding in-ring psychology, some of the greatest suspenseful kickouts, you name it, that is in wrestling. And then you got this bullshit here where, WWE's got a hold of Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles together. One of the hottest free agents, make AJ Styles the world champion. Very nice, fair enough. Then you got Shinsuke Nakamura, who came in huge in NXT, world champion. Whoop-de-doo. Shinsuke Nakamura won the Royal Rumble. Okay, I'm all right with that. Then they booked the WrestleMania, which did not lead up really well, and I was not a fan of that match, but that is not the one that I'm talking about for the worst. No, I'm not talking about the greatest Royal Rumble. The one that I'm talking about is their match they had at Backlash. That right there is my number 9, because to me, that gave a personal middle finger fuck you to one of the greatest matches that happened in New Japan. Bringing this now, thinking, okay, so WWE, we're going to add our own spin to this and make this a fucking double count out. Kick each other in the nutsack. I'm hearing feedback.
It ain't for me because I got a headset on.
It's not me. I got one too.
Okay. Echo. Okay, so anyways, like I was saying, bravo WWE for that excellent finish you gave there. A fucking bravo finish. You think it's a good idea, instead of having a high suspenseful Styles Clash or what is Nakamura's finisher called when he does the
Kinshasa.
Thank you. Or Kinshasa, maybe that twice, and could have been an awesome suspense right there. Maybe final form of the submission, but no. You had a fucking double count out, which is both of them kick each other on the balls.
Oh yeah, and Joshua said
seriously,
this.
I gotta fucking have that.
It was a no disqualification match, and it ended a draw.
How the fuck is that? No, okay, so they kick each other on the balls, couldn't get up. Makes no sense at all. That fucking match was a huge, and this whole feud that's going on with AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura, it's a fucking middle finger to the match in New Japan. It really is a fucking middle finger. It
really is.
The one from 2015, that match, that was like a 40-minute match or something, and that was just wow.
And for people say, oh, this is going to live up to New Japan. No, fuck you. It wasn't going to live up to New Japan, because the difference between WWE and New Japan is that New Japan is pro wrestling. WWE is sports entertainment, so you should get a pretty good idea.
Oh, yeah, it is. Even Vince McMahon.
And what does this fucking tell you about this feud? It's giving a middle finger to both men, who are some of the most well-deserving, talented athletes, pro wrestlers ever, and they decide to book them in this type of match.
Yeah, you can't even say the word fucking. You can't even say the word wrestling yet.
Oh no, I'm supposed to say. I'm supposed to say I'm a superstar. Fuck you. I'm done.
That's awesome.
I'm sorry, dude. Fucking, that match was a middle finger. I would have put my top 5, but I would have put my top 5, but I've seen way fucking worse.
You want to talk about middle fingers, Mr. Garrison?
Go right ahead. I'm sorry.
Wait till you hear about my number 9, because I was almost at this pay-per-view. I almost went to this pay-per-view, but I didn't have a car then. I didn't have friends who had, a license or car that could go with me.
Too bad you didn't know me.
Well, you didn't have a car either, so you're all the way in Arizona.
Actually,
so
I did. Actually, I did.
Well, you're all the way in Arizona, and this was all the way in Miami, Florida. And it pissed me off, and it pissed me off for 3 reasons. Number 1, the specific match that was advertised, that's the namesake of the pay-per-view, wasn't the main event. Number 2, it exploited one of my favorite wrestlers' death.
One of the greatest wrestlers ever.
And number 3 is the title match that was absolute ass.
Oh, which one?
Edge versus John Cena from Royal Rumble 2006.
That's another one of the worst booked matches I've ever seen.
Reason being, Edge won the Money in the Bank at WrestleMania 21. He had all the way throughout the entire year, basically.
Yeah.
Cashes it in at New Year's resolution after John Cena defends it in the Elimination Chamber. He's all bloodied.
And that was one of the best cash-ins ever.
And Edge wins the title.
And
he loses it. And he has a live sex celebration, mind you.
He was the best fucking heel
in the company at the time.
Yeah. No, he was like red hot.
Red freaking hot. Strike while the iron's hot, and they did.
For 3 weeks.
But his first title match, or his first title reign, I should say, 3 weeks.
Yep.
3 freaking weeks. Just to have John Cena versus Triple H at WrestleMania 22.
Yeah, and look how that fucking turned out. And you know what the honest to God truth is? There was going to be a rematch between the two at WrestleMania 23.
Mm-hmm.
Except it was Shawn Michaels and which their match on Raw, hey, how's it doing? But their match on Raw, that should have been the WrestleMania match, because I will admit that match was because that match was awesome. Their match on Raw, John Cena and Shawn Michaels.
Oh, absolutely. That
was incredible. But yeah, it's like I said, fuck my Buckethead.
So yeah, this match sucked, and it made me hate John Cena even more. This match started my hatred for John Cena.
Same here.
It really did.
And it was Royal Rumble 2006, one of my top 5 worst. And yours, it was your number 5 too. And yes, you know what? They knew they fucked up, Josh, when Edge and Mick Foley stole the fucking show at WrestleMania. Yep, him and Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon, they both stole the show.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that tell you?
Simply put, that's my number 9. Edge versus John Cena for the WWE Championship at Royal Rumble 2006.
All righty. You ready for a good laugh?
Great.
My number 8. This started. Oh, number 8 is
number 8. Number 8. Simpsons reference. Come on.
My number 8. Hey, look, Nookum. This will make a fire burn underneath his ass and jump on the live chat really fast. Ready? Number 8 is an inspiration from the cancer of wrestling, Vince Russo.
Oh, boy.
This all started when one individual killed a dog named Pepper and tricked him into eating it.
Kennel from Hell.
Number 8, the Kennel from Hell. Unforgiven 1999. Al Snow versus the Big Boss Man.
That's one of my... I forgot to put that in my honorables, but that's in there, too.
Yeah, I told you this. There's Luke Nookum right there. Like I said, Luke Nookum, I want you in the top 5 most despised individuals in wrestling. I want you in that video because, like I said, he fucking despises Vince Russo. Okay. Now, if you don't know the look of the match was interesting. It was basically the old school blue bar steel cage with the Hell in the Cell hovering on top of it. And what happens is they call it the Kennel from Hell because they had these dogs, somewhat these trained professional dogs, right? Dobermans who were guarding the Hell in the Cell structure and the large blue cage, except instead of being ferocious and just dangerous, they were just pretty much calm, tame, pissing, shitting, and fucking the whole time.
Did they really shit?
Yes, they were pissing and shitting to the point where the cameraman couldn't focus on them anymore.
Did they have sex, really?
Okay, this is the honest. Okay, except the dogs were docile and bored, more likely to pee and shit, pee and defecate around the ring than attack anyone, and end up fucking each other. It doesn't.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You know, okay, now this is from Al Snow. You know, that fucking asshole.
Yeah,
he says that this is what he said in the interview. He explains that every wrestling match has a gimmick, a focal point that you build the story of the match around, and that specific match gimmick was about dogs. Snow said Vince Russo wanted to get rid of the head gimmick.
Why?
He don't know either, but it was fucking over.
The one thing that made him so popular.
Yep, especially in ECW. And he's, what does everybody want? You know? And Vince Russo has recently seen the movie Son of Sam. Jim Cornette was right. He gets all his fucking ideas from shit movies. Okay? Oh my God. So one thing led to another, and there were 7 to 8 dogs, and only one had obedience training because the dogs were not trained. Snow had no idea what could have been done to him, and they were the entire focal point of the match. Oh, man. And the rest is history. Yeah, Russell said a movie about Chihuahuas and an idea was born, and it led to this bullshit. Number 8, The Kennel from Hell.
All right, my number 8. Okay, if you want to talk about matches that were pretty shitty, but worse book since Vince Russo was the one in charge at the time. This particular match, that when I saw this, I was thinking to myself, the concept and all that looks cool and all, but the execution was pretty bad. It's Al. That's my number. It's my number as well. The Al Snow versus Big Boss Man from.
You should.
You got to be kidding me.
Why didn't you join me along with it?
Build the suspense so I can give my initial thoughts.
Oh, you got a good point.
Right. Build the suspense. So so just the name Kennel from Hell, it always shouts out to me. Okay, we got Vince Russo. Whoopie-doo. Let's see what other bags of tricks he's got on his dick. So. This was his best idea, getting rid of the gimmick that made Al Snow who he is, and dealing this whole gimmick with this dog that Al Snow brought out, which was Pepper, this little Chihuahua, and saying that, oh, I killed the dog and he's eating the food. I'm sorry, but not only is that fucking abusive animal-wise,
it's despicable.
What's that word?
Despicable.
No, not despicable. Disgracing. Disgrace.
Oh,
it's a fucking disgrace to animal lovers in general. Who's a dog lover in general. It's a fucking. This whole deal was a fucking disgrace. Nice job, Vince Russo. You are such a fucking genius for coming up with a story like that is fucking offensive to animal lovers lovers. And you thought making a match out of this to end their feud. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Whole match was a piece of shit. Fuck this. I got nothing more to say.
Alexander? Oh, he said he'll be right. Oh, hold on. Alex?
Fucking Kennel from Hell.
Oh my God. Okay, well, I'll just go over for the time being. I'll go over. Okay. Oh, okay. My number 7.
I still want to talk about that AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura because that fucking pissed me off. I literally can go on and on saying about that bullshit.
Shh. Relax. Okay. My number 7. Many people consider this to be the worst WrestleMania match of all time, and rightfully so.
It was Kenny Omega, my hand of God.
Would you be quiet? All right. My number 7. WrestleMania 27. Michael Pole Greaser versus Jerry the Burger King Lawler, WrestleMania 27, like I mentioned. Wow. You got a guy who's 62 years old who cannot carry Michael Pole Greaser because he is not a fucking wrestler. And this is where Michael Pole Greaser was a heel announcer, and this was the absolute fucking worst. And this feud went on forever, and all they did was bicker, bitch, moan, and complain. And this is where Steve Austin was the special guest referee at the time. Oh my God. And this match went on for like what? Almost 15 fucking minutes. And even Steve Austin couldn't save this match. And it looks like Jerry the King Lawler wins. And then all of a sudden, here comes the, may I have your attention, please? That general manager bullshit. And they awarded Michael Pole Greaser the winner. Fucking stupid. This was so bad. It was just like, why was this needed? And that is my number 7. Michael Pole Greaser versus Burger King Lawler at 27. That was just beyond appalling.
I actually made a fuck up with my list.
Okay.
What my number 7, I accidentally put it in my dishonorable mentions.
You made a mistake I did with the best of the pay-per-views. Go ahead.
My number 7, you take from the Attitude Era, you take 2 of the biggest names that was in wrestling then. Now I'll give you 2 names. One won the world title, the other one didn't, but should have. One of them was The Rock. The other one was the British Bulldog.
Oh.
These two of the biggest athletes that was in wrestling. You had the British Bulldog, who is arguably known, can be, or is one of the greatest Intercontinental champions ever, because he is one of the greatest Intercontinental champions that's ever lived, and one of the greatest wrestlers to ever be a tag team champion as well. British Bulldog, he was phenomenal as a tag team wrestler. He was phenomenal as a solo competitor. He's had some of the best matches against a lot of guys. I'll name 2 of them. He had a match with Owen Hart, his cousin.
Bret the Hitman Hart is probably his best.
Hart, to me, one of my personal favorites. Him and Mr.
Sorry about that. I had to take a John Cena.
That's all right. Him and Mr. Perfect. That was one of my personal favorites right there. But then but as time progressed, the British Bulldog, he wasn't really getting that. His name wasn't all that prominent later in the late 90s. He was still in the mid 90s when he was with the Hart Foundation. But when he started feuding with The Rock, if memory speaks, no, it wasn't during that. But in the late 90s, the British Bulldog, he was getting booked like a piece of shit.
Yeah,
and we're gonna talk about piece of shit because that's what we're leading up to. So
I think I know why.
So these 2 ended up, instead of the British Bulldog being the badass that he is with the British music, his attire-looking buff. Personally, I think the British Bulldog in 1999, he looked like shit. I think he looked like shit. He really did.
Well, yeah, you got to remember, I think he had something wrong with his back because of WCW.
Health.
You could thank the Ultimate Warrior for that.
Yeah,
it was health. It was health. He was going through some drug issues as well. So yeah, British Bulldog. He was not
Sonny.
He was not as buff as he was before. But he tried his. I mean, during this time, he was trying. I give him credit for trying to at least look good, but deep down during the 90s, he did look like absolute shit. And when he came back to the World Wrestling Federation, he was booked pretty bad. And that, to me, was a disgrace to the British Bulldog because The Rock was one of the biggest highlights in the late 90s and the Attitude Era, while the British Bulldog, just showing this, was just another urban name in the past life of the WWF. I don't fucking know. So these 2 were booked in a match, No Mercy 1999, and it was a dog poo match.
Mm-hmm.
Dog poo. Dog shit.
And I'm asking myself, okay, so you're going to book the British Bulldog, a man who's won multiple titles in the Federation, one of the hottest names that should have won the world title, but no. And you decided to put him in a match like this. That was a fucking disgrace to both competitors. But for me, specifically the British Bulldog, due to the fact a name like him to be treated like that.
He should have been world champion at that point.
Oh, by the way, Super Mario fan, Michael Paul Greaser.
I don't know what else to say. I really don't. British Bulldog, The Rock, number 7.
Okay.
Okay, since I wasn't here for number 8.
Yes, sir.
And number 7, so I'll go back to back to this one. So for number 8, we have a match from last year, believe it or not.
Fucking Sonny.
I think I may know exactly what it is. But
I wish. She still looks fine as hell, man. God damn.
No, she's not.
Oh,
she's
bullshit, man.
She's a train wreck. She is a train wreck.
I want to be in that porno with her. God damn.
Sunny Side Up Part 2. Get the hell out of here.
I'm kind of with
yeah, Sunny over easy.
I'm kind of with Alex.
We're hard. Yeah.
Kind of with Alex there. She doesn't really look as hot as she was back in the 90s.
Yeah,
well, that's the 90s.
Yeah, age. Sometimes age doesn't help people.
She looks better than fucking Sable. God damn.
You know who looks still fine at her age? Tori
Wilson. She looks better, as you were.
Okay. Last year, this was the 3rd match that these guys have had. And it features one of, if not the worst gimmick matches of all time, the Punjabi prison match. Featuring Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal.
Oh my God! Fucking
Jinder Mahal.
Okay, no, you know what? No, it's better. He's a fucking bum.
He's a bum.
He looks like he looks like a fucking glazed donut.
You want to talk about sloppy? You want to talk about botches?
Tatrasha Raja.
You want to talk about frickin' Great Khali came in to help Jinder win, and then he was off TV after this point. It just didn't make sense. These guys didn't gel in the ring. This is their last match that they've had, thank God. And it was absolute shit. This is one of the worst. No, it is the worst gimmick match of all time. I'm with you on this, Romy, 100%.
Yeah, because I remember last time.
Prison is garbage.
I did say the Kennel from Hell, but here's the difference with the Kennel from Hell. They only did it
It's
once.
a doggy. There's a doggy.
Oh, look at the cute little doggy. But at least with that, they only did it once. Punjabi prison, they did it multiple fucking times.
4 times?
3.
I think it was 3. Yeah, Great Khali, that fucking tall, retarded, dumb shit, redwood tree. He's like arguably one of the worst wrestlers ever
of all time.
Mm-hmm.
That's my number 8, and number 7 is, I know what's going to be on a little higher on your guys' list.
Okay.
That would be from one of the worst main events I've ever seen in my life. From, what was this? 6 years ago?
Oh my. Okay.
6 years ago?
Is it from Over the Limit?
Yes. John Cena versus John
Laurinaitis. I'm not going to say a word. I'm not saying. I'm just saving my thoughts for that.
John Laryngitis.
John Laryngitis. People power. What do I have to say about this match? Why was this? People. You know, this was the main event over Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm just gonna keep my thoughts.
Why? Like, I don't get it. I know John Cena's like the poster boy, but why would you have this?
Remember, Alex, the reason why they turned CM Punk heel is because he was outselling Cena in merchandise.
Yep.
Yeah, deservingly so, because he was something different. Different. And then he's facing off against John Laurinaitis. My name is John Laurinaitis.
I cannot fucking stand that motherfucker.
And interim general manager of Monday Night Raw.
I tell him to get the cock out of his mouth.
What the hell are you laughing at?
Gary, you got the giggles.
This the impression was fun.
He sounds like Eddie Redmayne from that movie Jupiter Ascending. My name is Eddie Redmayne.
Hey Gary, it's
you know what he sounds like? He sounds like the principal from Beavis and Butthead. Oh, Beavis and
Butthead. My name is Joe Laurinaitis.
Yeah.
And I'm an alcoholic.
So Luke Nukem says, well, we can establish that John Laurinaitis can, in fact, read.
Oh, man, this match was just sloppy. It was bad. It was awful. It was the worst match of that year for me.
I want to say so much, but I can't.
We'll save that for later. I'm going to stop talking. Romy, move on to your number 6. My number 7 is John Cena versus John Lawler.
Okay.
Over the 2011 or 2012. Okay. Moving on.
Just to let you know, my number 7 was Michael Paul Greaser versus Jerry the King Lawler at 27.
Mine was a dog poo match.
My number 6.
I know. I listened.
My number 6. This is the worst match I've ever seen in WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar versus Bill Goldberg, WrestleMania 20.
We'll get to that in a little bit.
Originally, a rumor, I don't know originally, but there was speculation that this was going to be the main event at 20. No joke. If that's
true, then oh my god.
Oh my god. Then this would have been the worst main event in history. But
it would have been the worst match in history if that was the case.
So this was like a dream match between two guys who were just like, like larger than life. Two Goliaths. And what many people knew ahead of time is that Goldberg's contract was up the next day, and Brock Lesnar wanted to pursue a career in fucking football, which failed miserably. The Vikings.
He couldn't even make the practice squad.
I know why he didn't, because let's face it, he's a wrestling athlete. He's not a football athlete. And then thank you, Dan. And then Goldberg and Lesnar redeemed themselves at 33, which was short, but it was fucking sweet, dude.
I was there. I saw it. It was
that awesome. Was the best thing about WrestleMania 33, other than the ladder match, because I was just like, I don't know how they're gonna do this. And then I saw this shit. I was just like, kill that motherfucker! Oh, I was going nuts. It was like the best 5 to 6 minutes ever. That's the match they should have fucking had. Because that match was awesome. It was short, but it meant to be that way. This shit went on for this felt like what? It was like 15, 20 minutes long. You knew the match was garbage when the crowd shat on them. Brock Lesnar and Goldberg didn't give 2 flying fucks. Steve, yes, ma'am.
Stone Cold Steve Austin couldn't even save this.
He couldn't save him. People were more entertained by the cotton candy guy and the guy who looked like Hulk Hogan in the crowd.
Yeah, you can see a point in the match. Everyone's just like,
cotton candy, cotton candy.
Okay. So the reason why it's not higher is because they somewhat redeemed themselves at WrestleMania 33, which was fucking awesome. Despite being somewhat predictable, it was still a fucking awesome ride. This shit was not. That's why it's my number 6. If you excuse me, I gotta check on my steak. Did someone say steak?
The beef. Where's the beef?
All right, my number 6.
Where's the beef?
Oh, lovely. My turn. All right, my number 6. I'm going to have to somewhat join along for this particular case because my number 6 is Goldberg and Lesnar at WrestleMania 20. Because you all know the booking of how this match was supposed to transpire. These two were having a little bit of feud. It was actually not bad of a build-up, but once it came time to the action itself,
the nitty and gritty,
it was an epic fail to the finest of some of the worst wrestling. To some of the worst wrestling I've seen in WrestleMania. I don't know what the fuck I just said. So like I'm saying, but with how these two were booked, it was something between how these two big guys, Goldberg, Lesnar, going at it because the contracts were gonna go up, blah 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 blah, pursue different careers. Hey, look at Brock Lesnar. He was able to become one of the biggest UFC fighters in modern today.
He was the biggest draw. All those pay-per-view buys, all those merchandise, all those casual viewers that came in because of it.
And look at Lesnar. He was one hell of a UFC fighter.
Mm-hmm.
He truly was. And with Goldberg, though, I don't remember exactly what happened to him afterwards. After that, because his contract was his last. This was his last match, so hoorah. Obviously, Stone Cold didn't do anything. They were more entertained with each other, especially other gimmicks that was in the crowd. That was going on.
Hilarious.
Blah, 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 blah. Hilarious. And the match was an epic fucking fail. But yeah, again, they redeemed themselves at WrestleMania 33 in that 5 to 6 minute match. It was a lot of fun to watch. That's all I got to say.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm done. I'm done.
Oh, what was it?
It was Goldberg and Goldberg and Brock Lesnar WrestleMania 20.
Oh my God, you had the same one I did.
Again. Did you guys go over this before we?
No.
Before we went over this?
No.
Okay. My number 6. Oh, I almost forgot an honorable mention. Royal Rumble 2014. My number 6, however, is the match that happened the year afterwards, 2015.
Without question,
the worst Royal
absolute
Rumble match I've ever seen in my life.
The worst booked wrestling match of all time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. This was Daniel Bryan's moment.
Yep.
It should have been Daniel Bryan's moment. Or this year or the previous year, but this year would have been much more better because he's just coming off of neck surgery or some sort of surgery. And you have him look at that.
Oh, you want look at that. Now that's a fucking steak, my friend. Look at that shit.
Oh, very, very nice.
Fuck you,
Very
Peter.
nicely done. And you have Daniel Bryan come in, and he gets eliminated in, 5 minutes? At least? And then the next person that comes in is Goldust, and I'm not shitting, on the Titantron it says, Shattered Dreams. If that's not a big fuck you, I don't know what the fuck is. And this was in Philadelphia, and everybody knew that Roman Reigns was going to win.
Oh, and they
were shitting on it. And it was funny because the previous year, they actually wanted Roman to win.
Well, the reason why is because it was the better of two, it's Sophie's choice. Do you rather have him or Batista? Where Batista was a babyface, and even he said it's not good. Even he said it's not going to work as a babyface.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to go heel. So yeah, bad booking.
So we get to the final four, which was
it was Rusev, Reigns, some other guy,
Kane, Big Show,
and
Roman Reigns.
And all of our favorites got dumped out like garbage. All
Ziggler,
the favorites.
Goodbye. Bray Wyatt, goodbye.
Damian Sandow, goodbye.
Sandow, get the fuck out of here. Just destroying people left and right.
Dean Ambrose, goodbye.
Rollins, no, he was the champion at the time.
He was the champion in one of the best triple threat matches.
Mm-hmm. Damn right. Best match, we'll get to that in a little bit. So, that's another top 5 or top 10, hopefully soon. Mm-hmm. So we get to the final 2. Roman looks like he's going to win. Big Show and Kane go back into the ring, try to beat him down some more, and then The Rock comes out. And he gets booed out of the building.
And especially what happens off camera was even worse.
Really?
Because what happened?
No, well, hold on. Before we get to that. Rock and Roman beat down those two. Rock gets out of the ring. Rusev comes back in the ring, and the crowd was chanting for Rusev because they wanted him to win.
And he was a heel who hated America.
And Roman Reigns eliminates Rusev. He has his big moment. Rock raises his hand, And the look on his face when he raises his hand says it all, ladies and gentlemen.
It was fucking
raises his hand.
priceless. He's just like, he just had a look of confusion and disgust, and it was beautiful.
What happened off camera? Go ahead.
So The Rock got on the mic, and he tried to be reasonable with the crowd, okay? You know, because of how much the crowd was not having any of it. They booed the everlasting fuck out of him. He couldn't even finish what he was going to say, and he got booed out of the building.
Damn. Is that on YouTube?
I cannot find it on YouTube. It could be, but I heard this according to people who were there and from the Blitz team.
Oh, the Blitz team. So, yeah, that's my number 6.
The worst booked wrestling match I've ever seen. And by the way, Luke Nukem, that was a great top 10 worst WrestleMania matches. His best was, his best. His worst list was actually great.
So, yeah. That's my number 6. Let's move into the top 5.
The top 5.
Number 5.
I love it. Is it my turn?
How do you like it cooked?
Fucking well done. Burn that sumbitch.
Ew.
It's a piece of meat, not a fucking animal.
It's not shoe leather either.
I want to feel like I'm chewing meat, not chewing on something I feel like it's still alive. Okay.
Fair enough. Whatever floats your boat. Number 5.
Oh my God, my number 5. I couldn't believe this match actually existed. King of the Ring 2000. The hardcore evening gown match with Pat Patterson versus Gerald Briscoe. What in the holy fuck is wrong with Vince McMahon? What is it with Vince McMahon of seeing guys in drag? What is it with him?
Just turn it on.
You got two highly respectful wrestlers, okay? Pat Patterson, Intercontinental Champion, creator, a genius booker and creator. He created the Royal Rumble match and many others. And you have Gerald Briscoe. And guys who are like 50 to 60 years old. No.
Evening gowns.
And they're wearing fucking evening gowns in a hardcore match. I'm surprised John Cena and The Miz is not on your list, Jerome. Well, on WrestleMania, the WrestleMania worst, it would be, but these are the overall worst. Like I've seen, like this is like the shittiest of the shittiest.
Sorry about that, gentlemen. What number are we on?
Number 5 for me.
Number 5.
Oh, we're on number 5.
Well, what are you laughing about?
Now, is this the list of that we think are the worst, or the overall matches that are bad?
You can go like fast.
No, we're going over.
God damn you, Alex! Quit pulling me.
No, we're going
Don't
over.
you patronize me. Number 5, the hardcore evening gown match from King of the Ring. Yeah, and the crowd.
What was their reaction to this? I forgot.
Okay, yeah. You want to know some of the highlights? Like a Bronco Buster, Gerald Briscoe hitting a Bronco Buster and Pat Patterson, and Patterson shoving a fucking banana and a maxi pad down Briscoe's throat.
If that's not symbolic, I don't know what is.
You can do comedy with these guys. Like, look at when Steve Austin and Vince were feuding, and you had that, exchange,
Yes,
but,
Mr. McMahon.
But, oh my God, what the fuck, dude? And the crowd was chanting boring.
Wow.
So that is my number 5. This lump of shit. The hardcore evening gown match. Garbage.
I still got, okay, all right, my number 6, I'm going to try and go through that quickly. Did we do number 6?
Yes.
Yes. Your number 6 was my number 6.
Okay, because I thought we missed a number or something. All right. Number 5. Now, this was one of the biggest returns in WWE. And it was a man that you all know who is like the biggest meme in wrestling right now, and it's been for a long while.
What are you talking about? This is my number 5 as well.
This son of a bitch here.
I hope.
I fucking loved this guy. I thought he was great. He's fat. Fucking love this. I fucking love this guy. But the thing that WWE did that fucked up was
turn the fucking sound off. I hate this fucking song.
Was they booked him as a fucking face. That was the hugest insult.
Biggest mistake.
It's a 50-50 chance, but since I'm a genetic freak, that means you have a 25% chance.
So I'm not normal.
So you're telling me the idea for this match is that we're gonna have a build-up where these guys are gonna do different contests, an arm wrestling, a body pose, a dancing or whatever. Yep. I don't know. Then their match at Royal Rumble 2003, which was the event. It was just bought. It was just German suplexes, belly to belly, whatever the fuck it was. It was just rinse and repeat matches all over. Oh my god,
it was bad.
It was an embarrassment to Scott Steiner, pretty much exposing the whole deal with this, and it ruined his reputation in WWE, and that was it.
Basically,
there's nothing more to say about this.
Can you imagine? You're like,
I actually have a story.
Imagine if Scott Steiner said that to Luke Nukem. Luke Nukem would be like, "The fuck you talking about?" Like Luke Nukem comes.
I actually have a personal story about this match.
Go ahead, dude.
I do. This was back in 2003. The previous year in 2002, I was at Armageddon 2002, which was
that the 3 stages of hell?
3 stages of hell with Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
That was an awesome fight.
The best 2 out of 3 falls match I've ever seen in my entire life.
Mm-hmm. That one and Triple H and Austin.
I was curious. I was curious as to what they were going to do with Triple H with the belt, because were they going to continue the feud with Shawn Michaels, have them have a match at Royal Rumble, but then Scott Steiner gets a shot.
The Reign of Terror.
That's where it begins.
It began in 2002, actually. But go ahead.
Yeah, it did. It did. So when I moved to Florida. The Royal Rumble 2003 was the first pay-per-view that we ever bought. We purchased in Florida. So I had the pleasure of watching this match as it happened. And I remember, hating this match.
Oh, my God.
Just hating this match. It was just suplex, pedigree. Knee to the face, suplex, pedigree, kick out, suplex, sledgehammer spot. Then they get disqualified. Someone gets disqualified, I think.
I don't remember being disqualification.
Wasn't there? Yeah, someone got disqualified. I think Steiner got disqualified. I'm not sure.
Of course, it had to be Steiner.
Actually, hold on. Look, let me do the research. Well, I'm a facts guy here.
I know. I'm the facts guy. I gotta do some research. I'm the smartest person.
2003. Let's see.
Okay, thank
you. Yep, Triple H or Scott Steiner defeated Triple H by disqualification. Though Triple H was the one who disqualified him.
Hey, Jerome. Suplex. Okay, there you go.
Suplex City, bitch. 18 minutes and 14 seconds.
Oh my God! It felt like it was much longer than that. Oh.
It was like 40 minutes at least.
It felt like 40 minutes. Thank you. It felt like it was twice as long.
And it was followed by one of the best championship matches of that year, Chris Benoit versus Kurt Angle.
That is aside from Michaels, that to me is Kurt Angle's best match.
One of many. Well, yeah, you guys said it perfectly. It was a botch fest upon botch fest. The build-up was shit. This match was shit. And this killed Scott Steiner in WWE.
It pretty much did.
Because he did nothing after this.
No, they teamed him up with fucking Test, and you saw how that
feud after Stacy Keibler, and after that, nothing.
And then he had a debate with why.
oh wait, there's remember when he went to TNA?
Yeah, but that's different.
That's different because they pretty much at least they kept with what made him so popular in WCW.
True. So yeah, that's my number 5.
That is a good state.
Oh, go straight.
Number 4, hey, 99. I hope you're listening, buddy.
Jeff Hardy?
No.
Matt Hardy.
We're doing the worst, but yeah, fuck the final deletion. All right.
I will never understand it.
I don't either. Sorry. All right.
Contract signing was.
Oh my god.
My
number
Brother Nero.
Okay. Remember when I tell you about how much fucking Vince McMahon loves to watch guys and drag? This is another one.
Let me guess.
Go ahead.
Regal versus Goldust?
No.
That was embarrassment.
That was an embarrassment.
Showgirl. When they were showgirls in the fucking.
Okay. I cannot believe this was an actual fucking match. I went back and rewatched this. Oh my lord. What was Vince McMahon thinking? My number 4. Santina Morella versus Vicky Guerrero, the hog pen match. From Extreme Rules 2009. Santino Morella's twin sister, Santina. This is a guy who is a legit fucking badass, who's like a mixed martial artist and will kick your ass. But no, let's turn him into a fucking unibrow doofus into a fucking drag queen. So, and he was crowned Miss WrestleMania. Remember in that 25 Diva? And
on the 25th anniversary, which is actually the 24th.
He loses the title to Vicky Guerrero, the most annoying bitch on the face of the fucking earth.
Excuse me.
And he has a chance to win it back in a hog. Yeah, he has a chance to win it back in a hog peg match. But then Vicky Guerrero, she was the general manager. She can make up bullshit. She goes along, decides to make it a handicap match with Chavo Guerrero. And they were wrestling in this fucking dump with pigs on the other side of the fence. And there were slop buckets and all that stupid shit.
Oh, Tubby, there was your family reunion.
Oh, you Well, I guess that makes me you motherfucker.
Yeah, I love you.
I guess that makes me a cannibal because I'm gonna eat those motherfuckers. All right.
Yeah, I love you.
Remember the hog pin match between Henry Godwin and Hunter Hearst Helmsley?
At least, okay, this match makes that hog pen match look like fucking that match makes it look like Ric Flair and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Ew.
And this was just mudslinging. This was just flipping and flopping. This was stupid, redundant, retarded bullshit. And that is why it is my number 4. And 99 must be so happy to hear this because he fucking.
Is that his worst?
It's near the top of it. I don't know if it's his overall worst, but it's near the top of his list. Because I know how much he despises this fucking match. That is my number 4.
All right, my number 4. I consider this to be, if not one of the worst one of the worst booked matches in WrestleMania. Actually, I'm going to give you a spoiler. Two of my 4 and 3 are WrestleMania matches. My number 3 is, to me, the worst WrestleMania booked.
All booked match?
But for this one, though, because Goldberg and Brock Lesnar, those two redeemed themselves. Not anymore. But with this one, but the next two, they were not redeemable. Especially my number 3. But number 4, though, this match, this was the main event. This was the build-up to, we can say, was the biggest dream match of all time that everyone wanted to see, but not me. That was not my dream match. I would have loved to see if it was. Oh wait, that already happened. So fuck me. But that ending was a piece of shit. CM Punk and The Rock, that was a piece of shit ending. So fuck me there. But this one's even a bigger fuck me. You had two of the biggest corporate fuckheads working today and working right now. And you think it's a good idea to have one guy, which is The Miz, the WWE champion at this time, and then you decide to put him against the other corporate fucker, which is Vince McMahon's wet dream, let alone guys who I don't remember back in 2011, 2012. I don't remember what year it was, and you know what? I don't care either. That should have been much more deserving, but no. You had to fucking put John Cena in this whole mix again.
Mm-hmm.
So John Cena and The Miz, WrestleMania 27.
The only good thing about that match was the video package for The Miz. That's it.
I'm not even.
You can hate me now.
I'm not gonna say I'm worried about that. Now. I'm not gonna say worried about that video package because awesome. I really don't care about. I didn't care about that video package then, and I didn't care about it now. This match was a fucking embarrassment, dude. It was a fucking embarrassment to not only what the word WrestleMania means,
that whole pay-per-view was embarrassment.
It really did. It proved to you that taking corporate fuckers instead of well-known deserved guys to be in this particular match, it showed you how bad WWE was going to get down the road, and it has gotten to me a lot worse. My number 3-1, there's a little bit more to say than this, but it's just pretty much the whole match itself. It's just a visual presentation of what Vince McMahon wants and what he only cares about in wrestling today. It's just that's all it is. What he only cares about, not what the fans care about.
Mm-hmm. You're not going to tell Alex was singing. He wasn't singing that much. Joshua Cook says Cena and Miz at 27 is.
Well, I could if you want me to.
No, is his worst match of all time.
Alex, you're a better singer.
That's true. I took choir in high school for all 4 years.
So did I, and I hated it.
I loved it.
I did it.
I sang. What are you gonna do?
Would you be quiet?
All right, my number 4 is something you guys already mentioned. It's Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar from WrestleMania 20.
I remember that.
We all know the backstory. Brock Lesnar is going to play for the Vikings. Goldberg's going to have a show on Spike TV about cars and then raise a family. Stone Cold's going to be in. Stone Cold's going to be in what's that movie?
The Condemned.
The Condemned and the
Battle Royale ripoff,
which is awesome.
That movie's awesome. Yes, not that Condemned bullshit.
No, I like Condemned.
Oh fuck!
I like to Condemn.
I didn't care for it at all.
But anyways, these guys didn't care. Neither did the fans, and it shows. Simply put, you guys explained it, and yeah, that's my number 4. Brock Lesnar.
The only reason why the Condemned was watchable was because of Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's why. Yeah,
and the concept was cool with how it being online and a TV show.
But it was Battle Royale. It was the same thing.
Yeah, but it wasn't on TV. It wasn't showcased on TV. It was like the Hunger Games, but for
adults.
Adults, exactly. It was like the Hunger Games for adults.
Joey Acacia says, "Is Gary wearing any pants?"
That makes you feel better. I got boxers on.
White toities.
Yeah, I'm gonna
get
some fucking toity whiteys on, a bow tie, put some oil on me.
Wait, Gary, what are they
dress shoes and white socks.
Call me Big Dick. call me Little Dick Johnson. I don't know.
Black dress shoes and white socks. You know,
that too.
Front spine back.
Okay, look, Nukem, you motherfucker. I knew he would say that. You know what? He says, so was the Hunger Games, and those movies suck too. Ha ha ha.
Damn, first one's okay.
First one's good. Second one I really liked, and fuck the other two.
Moving on. Number 3.
Okay, my number 3. This is the worst match I've ever seen on Raw.
If it's what I'm thinking, it might be my number 3 as well.
Vince McMahon decides to take these celebrity impersonations and let him have a fucking match, and it was garbage.
The crowd was chanting TNA. It was so bad.
They were chanting Born. They were chanting TNA. They were chanting, oh my God.
We want refunds.
And that, of course, this happened on January 8th, 2007 episode of Raw. Rosie O'Donnell versus Donald Trump.
Fake Rosie versus fake Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. If
Vince
McMahon thought this was fucking clever, it wasn't.
No.
This was just ass.
This is on the level of remember those segments back in the 90s where they had Nacho Man and the Huckster and Scheme Gene.
If you want to talk about a wrestler,
that was this.
If you want to talk about a wrestler who does an amazing gimmick / impersonation and made it work, Jay Lethal. No, Jay Lethal.
Jay Lethal. He does the best Macho Man, Ric Flair.
You got nothing.
The reason why the Black Machismo works so well because he was paying honor and dedication. That's why it works so well in that gimmick.
Exactly. And Vince McMahon thought he was so clever in doing this shit, but oh my fucking Lord.
And this was a sign of things to come because 2007, shitty year for wrestling altogether.
If you've never seen this, don't, because, whoa, echo. Hold on a second. Gary. Okay, there we go. Just don't. And Vince McMahon, you remember, this is coming from Vince McMahon, the guy. Okay, hold on, Gary.
What the hell's happening?
Echo. It is coming from you, Gary. I'm sorry.
Wall stack.
No, it was coming from Gary. Gary, fade back. Okay, thank you. This is coming from
the mind of toilet paper.
This is coming from the mind of Vince McMahon, who originally wanted, when Stephanie McMahon was pregnant with her first child, wanted to create a story arc in wrestling to where Vince McMahon was the father. I wish I was making that shit up. So that is my number 3. Fake
mine
Rosie
too.
Versus fake Donald. Go ahead, Alex.
Same with mine. I mean, this feud was stupid. I mean, she said something on The View, and then he said something on The Apprentice, blah, 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 and it just was like, what was the point of this?
It was fucking retarded. And how it ends with that goddamn pie, I was like, fuck off, dude.
And was this, I think this was the start of the build-up for the Battle of the Billionaires. I'm not sure if it was or not.
Yeah, a hair versus hair match.
Whoa, gee, I know who's going to win that. Like I said, if this was a sign of things to come in 2007,
oh yeah, dear Lord, oh no.
And it is on record. It's one of the worst years in wrestling history.
Yeah.
It
was
just bad main events, bad storylines, bad everything. Just bad.
Yep. I got to wash my hands.
Mr. Gary, what do you got? Mr. Garrison, what's your number 3?
I got to wash my hands. This goddamn steak juice.
All right, my number 3.
Steak juice.
Hey now. Oh no, he's got the wheezing. He's wheezing.
Okay, keep myself together. As for my number.
Okay, what did I miss?
Steak juice.
Oh no.
Sorry, I had to.
What's your steak juice?
Fucking Alex, dude.
I love you, man.
Fucking steak juice.
Fucking hell, dude.
Hey, what kind of cup is that, Jerome? Just curious, because I know you had the Polar Pop one from, or what's it called?
This is from AMC. It's that one big ass one that you can get, and I just kept it ever since.
Okay, right on.
All right.
Number 3, Mr. Garrison. God damn, we're getting off topic.
My number 3, this to me is the worst WrestleMania match ever. This to me is the worst WrestleMania match booked, and we're going to stick in modern times now. This match was a big middle finger fuck you to an iconic legend in wrestling and WWE today. This match was a disgrace. It was an insult. And this tells you that Vince does not care anymore about his creations and what wrestlers stood out and actually built themselves a legacy and wasn't forced down our throats. The Undertaker versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 33.
I love that pick.
Here's the difference between these two men. The Roman Reigns was a man who was naturally before he was becoming this corporate fucker, he was this guy who was getting naturally loved by the crowd because he was that silent assassin badass who was in the Shield. And his gimmick worked so well in the Shield because he was a fucking badass then.
And then the Shield died.
Then after the Shield died, guess what happened? They decided to take Roman Reigns and put him as the main face, shoving him down all our throats, trying to make him work as the big dog, and still is today, trying to shove him all down all of our throats. And clearly, this shows we don't want Roman Reigns. He fucking sucks.
4 WrestleManias in a row. Here we go.
There are more deserving guys who deserve a shot at any main title or any belt in general. Now, I'm going to go to the WWE.com website. Why? Because that's the only reliable source I can give within their roster, and I hate to go on the website right now. But just to make my point, this is the only reason why I can look for a credible source for their roster.
A credible source?
Oh, wait, I'm fucking dumb. I could just go on Wikipedia. I'm fucking stupid.
Wait, what are you doing?
I'm going to look up the roster so I can prove my point of more deserving guys who deserve to go for a main championship.
Kevin Owens.
He had the main belts.
He needs to do it again.
Oh, and by the way, you got
Samoa
Luke
Joe.
You got Luke Newcomb's attention because let me tell you something. The Undertaker is his favorite wrestler of all time.
Same here. Same here.
And he fucking watch. Luke Nukem will say he hates Roman Reigns more than anybody else.
But yeah, as for guys who deserve, okay, I'm just gonna stick with main belt and minor belt, intercontinental, and world title, universal world champion. I don't care. I'll give you guys who deserve championship opportunities. Guys like Apollo Crews,
yes,
Baron Corbin, Bray Wyatt, who should have won a long time ago. Should have put him against AJ Styles, but no, that didn't fucking happen. So fuck me there. I'm not gonna say Dean Ambrose because he already had the belt. Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre. Jason Jordan. Well, Jason Jordan, I'm not gonna say anything.
Oh God, no.
I'm not saying Jason Jordan.
Kurt Angle's son, get the fuck out of here.
Kevin Owens. Give us Kevin Owens against Sami Zayn.
Goddamn right. Yeah, goddamn right. Samoa Joe.
Should have gave Samoa Joe, who should have been fucking champion by now, but because he was world champion in NXT, but no, buried already. First night on Raw by, you guessed it, Roman Reigns. Finn Balor should go put him for the world belts again because he only held it once, but he had to leave because of injury. I'm just naming the Raw roster, but
what about Big Cass?
No,
I don't care for him as a wrestler. I really don't. I do not care for him at all. Samoa Joe is another one of the biggest ones. Ty Dillinger, we gave it to him.
10.
That guy. Any wrestler that is naturally loved by the crowd right now, like Rusev, Aiden English, Ty Dillinger again, wrestlers like those guys who are naturally loved by the crowd that people want to see as champion, go for a shot. Those are Heath Slater. Those are guys that should be guys who are naturally loved by the crowd.
No, not Heath Slater. I don't give a shit about his kids.
What?
Those are ones that should be at least going for any championship or have a good push. But no, it's these corporate fuckers like The Miz. I don't know about Randy Orton, but him as well. I like him as a wrestler, but I consider him one of the corporate guys. John Cena, but we're talking about Roman Reigns here. Roman Reigns is the guy against The Undertaker, and it was a fucking embarrassment. Now, with The Undertaker, though, this guy, unlike Roman Reigns, he was shoved. Roman Reigns was shoved down our throat. The Undertaker, on the other hand, he earned his spots. He built his career naturally, whether if he was loved or hated by the crowd. Undertaker was a man who was able to build his career, his reputation on his own, with not only how he was built, but he did it. But he built it on his own, becoming a world champion, tag team champion, having a huge feud with some of the biggest guys like Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kane, The Rock, and Kurt Angle. Name some people.
Speaking sorry, I had my headset. I was talking about. Luke Nukem, you mentioned one particular name, and like I said about the gimmick matches, if I went back, I would have changed my burials big time because number one is Zack Ryder.
But the Undertaker, he built his own legacy. And here's the thing with the Undertaker: this was a match that should have never fucking happened. Or the Undertaker. As much as I love The Undertaker, he's fucking done in the WWE. The only thing that he needs left is to be inducted to the Hall of Fame, which for some fucking reason, he did not even induct him yet, and I will not understand why they didn't do it yet. He should be in right now, but no, fuck me again. So, The Undertaker's nothing left to prove. He's won championships, he's won Royal Rumble, he's won main events, he's headlined WrestleMania.
He never won King of the Ring.
God damn it, Alex, you stole it from me.
He should have. 95.
Well, fucking King of the Ring. I'm just talking about some of the major headlines.
Fucking men on a mission.
So the Undertaker's not inducted to the Hall of Fame yet. I don't know why. And you know what? I'm just at the point where, you know what? I don't care anymore. I really don't.
He will. He's going to.
Yeah, probably by fucking 2030. I don't know. So from there, Roman Reigns. Retired. Keep that in mind. Retired the Undertaker.
And buried him.
Keep that in mind.
Alive.
But no, guess what happened? They decided, you know what? Okay, we'll bring the Undertaker back for 2 matches. We'll do a fucking squash against John Cena, and the other we'll do a casket match that was fucking pathetic against Rusev, and burying him and Aiden English even deeper.
Deeper, that's what she said.
The match with John Cena was actually kind of funny.
I thought it was fucking stupid, dude.
There's a reason. I found out why it was only a 2. God, hiccups. Well, it was only a 105-minute match. 105
minutes?
No. No, wait. It was 245. Wait, 120. 145 seconds.
That would have been oh my God.
No, there's a reason why it was 145 seconds. Because Undertaker was he's just recovering from surgeries and whatnot. Especially one for his hip, I believe.
Yeah.
And why the fuck put him in a match? Then why the fuck put him in a match if he's recovering from an injury?
I don't know, because John Cena needed something to do,
and he got buried.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters in the end.
No, it doesn't, because wins and losses don't count. Isn't that right, Road Dogg?
Yeah, that motherfucker. Yeah, if you tell him that, he'll probably block you. Okay. So Get Back, was that your number
3?
And Alex, your number 3?
I agreed with you. It was Rosie versus.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, my number 2. Now, I almost had this as a tie, but I can't do a tie on this, because I had AJ Styles versus John Cena on here. Okay, to me, the most overrated fucking match of all time. The match that made me stop watching this, and of course Roman Reigns and The Undertaker. However, I had to go down to the worst of the worst. And this is, without question, the absolute worst main event in wrestling history. Over the Limit 2012, John Cena versus John Laurinaitis. What in the fuck was this bullshit? First of all, this main evented over a terrific match between CM Punk and Daniel Bryan.
Fantastic match.
Which it was phenomenal. It was
fantastic.
And then the main event, folks, I'm not kidding you when I tell you about this. Let me explain what happened. This match was 24 minutes long. Second, all this was John Cena being, I'm John Cena. I can do whatever I want on the microphone. So he gets the microphone and he's fucking with, he's beating the shit out of John Laurinaitis, especially when they go on commentary. He puts on the headset, and it was fucking redundant. It was stupid. And there was a stipulation to where whoever interferes gets fired. Okay. Well, not too long ago, Big Show got fired, okay, by John Laurinaitis. Gee, I wonder if he's going to show up. And then all of a sudden, when John Cena, he could have pinned John Laurinaitis.
Wait, is this when Big Show was crying?
This is not too far when Big Show got on his knees and started crying.
And begging and crying, like, I want my job back.
Oh, wait, it was 17 minutes? Why did these things say it was 24? That's what I got from other websites. Still, it felt like it was longer. And this went on forever. I was like, John Cena, just pin the fucking guy and shut up. And then all of a sudden, here comes the Big Show. Oh, we never predicted that. And he gives him the WMD. And then John Laurinaitis pins him for the 3 count. And that was it.
That was the worst main event.
That is... First of all, John Laurinaitis, you are fucking garbage, both in and out of the ring. Secondly, John Cena, you are one of the absolute worst fucking wrestlers I think I've ever seen, and the most overrated wrestler within that. And 3, why was this the main event over CM Punk and Daniel Bryan? 2 legit, awesome, and dedicated wrestlers who did a great championship match, and it was a match that we all wanted to see at WrestleMania. CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan. But no, CM Punk said, fuck you, 2 years later, and he left because he said it best. I don't need you. And it rubbed WWE off the wrong way because you know how control freaks they are. So that is my number 2, and you're probably thinking, what the fuck is your number 1, Jerome?
Oh, I think I know.
No, you don't.
I think I know.
So, having said that, your guys' what is your numero 2?
Mr. Garrison.
Get up there. You're on mute.
This is one of the biggest fuck yous I've seen in modern wrestling, and this definitely proves to you all that Vince does not give a shit about his talent that he has on his roster. He does not give a shit about the talent that he has that is naturally loved by the crowd, who is well deserving for a championship. And this was not only a slap to the face to the audience, it was a huge slap to the fucking face to the man who deserved the spot. And I fucking called it when this happened a day prior before this tragedy, that's what I'm gonna call it, because it was a fucking tragedy, happened. I said in a prediction video that this particular guy was going to go off to WrestleMania and win the Intercontinental Championship, and guess what? I was fucking right because of how he was getting booked recently. He won the Intercontinental title. He managed to share a memory of taking a picture with one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. That is Razor Ramon. And the next day, this fucking proved this was. I mean, you can say all you want, but this definitely was the tip of the iceberg, the eye-opening factor that Vince McMahon does not care about his fans. He does not care about his talent, his natural love talent. He only cares about himself, and he only cares about his corporate fucktards like The Miz. My number 2 is The Miz and Zack Ryder on Monday Night Raw for the Intercontinental Championship, where Zack Ryder lost the Intercontinental belt a day after WrestleMania, which is a big fuck you, and that buried Zack Ryder in the worst, and I mean absolute worst, despicable way possible.
It was that match that I literally stopped watching Raw. I'm no joke.
That match. I said fuck it with Raw and SmackDown, and I have not watched a Raw or SmackDown since then. You know what? I do not care. I'm going back because the only time from there I was watching was the events, and guess what? I've stopped watching the events. Only events I probably ever watch are still maybe WrestleMania, Royal Rumble. I don't fucking know. I don't even know at this point anymore. But overall, I don't watch any of the stupid events that they do, like Backlash or Judgment Day.
Great Balls
Great Balls of Fire, or any other stupid event that they do that.
Literally, it does look like set of balls on fire.
Seriously,
balls of fire.
I don't understand what's so fucking attracting about modern WWE today. I don't get it. If you want to see some wrestling that is good, I'll show you some good wrestling. Watch New Japan.
It's pretty crazy how they're making so much revenue, especially with the $1 billion deal they made with Fox. Yeah, if you look at the stadiums that they're playing in, you can see a lot of empty seats, especially in the upper section. They have it really blacked off or dimmed off, so it's not noticeable. No joke.
Fucking bullshit you're telling me. So a guy like Zack Ryder, what is he doing now in WWE? He's doing absolute shit.
Nothing. He's doing nothing.
He's doing shit now. So you know what? Just say, okay, just tell us, if you want to make it easier for Zack Ryder, just tell him, you know what? Get the fuck out of here. You're done. Just
fuck you. Go to ROH and make yourself famous.
Just say it better. To make it better for Zack Ryder, just fucking fire him already. If not, if he hasn't quit or want to quit, just fucking fire him already. Why?
Just do what Cody Rhodes did.
So Zack Ryder can do what Cody Rhodes is doing right now, and that is making himself. He's not even being forced to be booked away. He's made himself famous. He's made himself one of the best wrestlers in modern day wrestling day. He's becoming one of the biggest iconic wrestlers in any wrestling organization. He's managed to become world champion in bundles of organizations. Cody Rhodes is doing himself great.
He's not that stupid transsexual plagiaristic Stardust gimmick bullshit. Like even he fucking hated. I couldn't stand that gimmick. I thought it was retarded.
I remember at a live event, somebody was chanting Stardust at him. He fucking did a cartwheel and he gave the middle finger to the fan.
It's hilarious.
Which was absolutely funny because Cody Rhodes is a badass in general. And I can attest that because, no joke, I personally did meet Cody Rhodes in person. I did. It was back in 2009 when I met Cody Rhodes. And I can tell you all right now, he is one of the coolest fucking people I have met in my entire life. He is that fucking down-to-earth of an individual.
And he's got a fucking gorgeous, sexy-ass wife. Holy shit.
He literally is a fucking awesome dude as a wrestler. And as a person, again, I can testify because I met him. He is an awesome guy to talk to and be around. He's one of those dudes that you can go around and have a beer with.
Yeah, pretty much.
But again, with Zack Ryder,
I want a beer right now.
Just seriously, fucking leave WWE, make yourself well known, and like what Alex said, Ring of Honor, New Japan. He'll be fucking great in those companies. But no. So my number 2 was the Zack Ryder and Miz incident on Monday Night Raw.
Okay. Now we get into my top 2. And both of them came from the same WrestleMania.
God, it's fucking so hot in here.
Huh?
Don't worry about me. Just go ahead.
What's wrong with you? Oh my God.
It's fucking hot in here, so don't worry about me.
Anyways, number 2 and number 1 came from the same WrestleMania, WrestleMania 27. And I remember watching this with Mr. Casual of all people.
Okay, I just came back, and the first thing I heard was Mr. Casual.
Yeah, of all people. I remember watching this with him. Both matches came from the same show, WrestleMania 27. But as to which one is which, you're about to find out. My number 2 is a match that should not have happened. A match that should not have taken place at all whatsoever. A match that should have not gotten a half-hour segment at all whatsoever. Michael Cole versus Jerry Lawler. You thought it was going to be my number 1, wasn't it?
Yeah, I did. Luke Nukem, he had that as his number 1 worst WrestleMania match of all time.
It's currently my number 2. We'll get to my number 1 in a second.
Okay. I have no idea what your number 1 is.
But when we get to this match, the build-up for this was absolute garbage.
Oh, my God. It was fucking bickering.
They bring in Grandmaster Sexay, who's his son. He's like, I hated you when I was a kid, blah, blah, blah. You were the worst father ever. I hope you die a burn in hell or something like that. Basically like the Bella twins on Jerry Springer.
Okay, that to me is the worst wrestling segment I've ever seen. Oh, I'm having horrible flashbacks. The Bellas and Jerry Springer. Oh, my God.
You were an accident. No, you were an accident.
Yeah, I wish they weren't. I wish they weren't. I wish they were in an accident so they don't have to fucking show up in wrestling again.
No, I hope you died in the womb. I wish you died in the womb. Like, what the?
Oh my God!
What the hell wishes that? Back to this match. It was sloppy as fuck. You got Jack Swagger as Michael Cole's wrestling coach. His horrible singlet. He's got some of the worst tattoos I've ever seen in my life. Again, Stone Cold. What is it with Stone Cold, Steve Austin, and being the special guest referees in such horrible matches?
I know it because in my top 5 worst WrestleMania matches, he was the referee in 2 and 1.
2 of them.
And he couldn't save the fucking match for his life.
Seriously. Those poor fans in the Georgia Dome. I mean, my God, this is in terms of WrestleMania's like a top 5 worst. This is my number 4 worst WrestleMania of all time.
It's. I think it's my. If I had to redo it now, it's probably my number 3 or 4.
Number 4 with 2, 9, and 11 being 1, 2, 3, 2, 1.
11 is without question the
worst. Hartford Civic Center. Need I say more?
Oh my God, Jenny McCarthy.
But yeah, his whole little the coal field or coal mine or whatever the hell that booth was he was doing during commentary.
The pole greasing assembly. That's what I'm calling it.
And then they had the anonymous Raw general manager involved, and
it was like when he switched the fucking ending, I was like, "What was the fucking point of this match?"
What was the point of that?
And this was one of the main highlight matches on the card.
Again, it got a 30-minute segment. It should have been on the pre-show.
And the match was 15 fucking minutes long.
Yeah, it was bad. That's my number 2. You guys explained it more than I did, so. That's my number 2. Let's get to number 1.
Okay.
Here
Double Nine was the only human being to figure out what my number 1 was.
Mm-hmm.
I looked up many lists, and almost every single one had this at number 1. And I'm like, is it true? So I went back, and I found the actual match, and I watched it. That was my reaction the whole fucking time. I'll give you a hint.
No, just say it.
Queen Charmel and Jenna, you got some competition. My number 1 worst wrestling match in WWE history. NXT Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, October 19th. Caitlyn versus Maxine.
Oh man.
Holy shit! And what made it worse, you had Alicia Fox as a manager with the mic on her, and on the other side, you had Vicky Guerrero. Folks, this match was so bad that Michael Polegreaser, who was commentating, he was talking shit nonstop throughout the match to where he couldn't take it anymore, and he literally got up and took a phone call on his cell phone. Dude, oh my God. I have never seen a wrestling match this bad choreographed, this bad in terms of botches. The crowd was fucking dead. Alicia Fox and Vicky Guerrero, I wanted them to someone put like a 10-inch dildo in the mouth so they shut the hell up. And Michael Paul-Greaser was just talking shit. This is what he says word for word. I'm not kidding you. This is what he says. We sat through a lot of bad stuff on the show, but this may be the single worst segment of this show that I have ever been a part of.
Yeah. That was bad.
Now, Caitlyn, if you ever seen what she looks like now, dude, she's like this.
She's hot.
Not only hot, she's like a bodybuilder type chick.
Nice tits too.
Oh my gosh, she looks better than ever, and my dogs are going crazy. This was the longest 5 fucking minutes I've ever had to sit through.
I'm gonna have to watch this again.
This is okay, Mara. They had many matches in NXT. It's the one where they had Vicky Guerrero and Alicia Fox on each corner.
Okay.
And you can hear him talking throughout the whole fucking time. And yeah, this was on many people's number one list, and I could not agree any fucking more. One of arguably the worst match of all time. It rivals Jenna Morasca and Queen Sharmell.
Wow.
No, I'll say it's worse than that because at least that had Awesome Kong. This match didn't. I couldn't believe this shit. That is my number one without fucking question.
Did you watch it all the way through, or did you have to take?
Yes, I did. I was in so much pain. It was like Cat in the Hat all over again.
The Cat in the Hat, hour long.
Oh my god!
Thing that you did.
So, folks, that is my number one. If you want to see what it was NXT, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, October 19. Caitlyn versus Maxine.
October 19, 2010.
Yep. And this is back where NXT, this was when they were like a television
TV show.
It was a TV show, yeah. It wasn't the NXT that we all know
love today.
Thanks to Triple H.
And Shawn Michaels.
And what, Shawn Michaels is behind
it? Yeah, he's the producer.
Oh, I didn't know that. Shit. Oh, and William Regal. He's also a big part of it, too.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So, that's my number one.
Gary Bear?
All right, my number one.
I'm curious.
If you want to talk about some of the worst wrestling I've seen ever.
Yeah, talk about it, you little wine.
This wasn't even a match. This was a fucking disaster.
Over there.
This was a fucking disaster.
Motherfucker was choking. Okay, this was a disaster, Gary Bear.
This was a fucking disaster. That's exactly what it was, because I've seen a lot of these particular matches, but this one tops for me as if not the shittiest one out of them all. You got a lot of talented wrestlers on here that I wouldn't say, let's just say not really. You got some talented wrestlers, couple. The rest of them were either corporate guys or the others were just not really all that interesting. Some of them were surprises that I could care less about, sadly. But for this one, though, with the finish of this particular match, especially with how the crowd was interacting and where it was taking place, this definitely told you something, especially in a place like Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, where it's one of the biggest hardcore wrestling towns.
Oh, I already know his number one.
The four men in this match was Kane, Rusev, I forgot the other guy, and Roman Reigns. I think it was Bray Wyatt. But this match here, Bray Wyatt, out of all people, eliminated Daniel Bryan, who came out as number 10.
Philadelphia.
This Mania was actually going good so far.
Royal Rumble 2015.
But as soon as Daniel Bryan came out, that's where it started to get good. Thanks because Daniel Bryan, this was his hot streak. This was the Royal Rumble that he needed to win.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? He was only in the Rumble for only 10 minutes and 36 seconds. He only got one elimination in, which was a big fucking shocker / surprise. After when Daniel Bryan got eliminated, everyone fucking shit all over this Royal Rumble.
Yep.
And you know what? And if not too many people know this, this was the very first video I ever did with Gary on his channel.
Yeah.
Really?
And we went in detail over the 2015 pay-per-view and especially the Rumble match.
This Rumble match, it was a big mistake, and it was just a continuation of how Vince fucking feels. Putting a guy like Roman Reigns, now with Batista, though, the reason why we wanted Roman Reigns to win, because it was a do or die situation because of how Roman Reigns was being booked, especially with the Shield. It could have been something, because look where Roman Reigns was. He was still in the Shield. If he won the Royal Rumble while he was in the Shield, that could have created a lot of sparks within the Shield in general, which would have been something interesting. But no. The Shield broke off, and nobody cared for Roman Reigns to win because this was Daniel Bryan's moment.
Because Roman Reigns is still playing the same fucking character, except they gave him a microphone to speak in, and it just made it worse. And
So
he hasn't learned anything new. He does the same shit.
So with this particular case of this Rumble match, it was a fucking disaster. It was to the point where nobody else cared about anyone else except for Rusev, because everyone was chanting Rusev to win this. But no, Roman Reigns got the win.
Day.
He won the Royal Rumble, and look what happened. The Rock even came out and tried to save this, but no. That didn't help at all because everyone was booing the everlasting fucking shit out of this Royal Rumble match. And it was also you knew it was bad when people were booing The Rock as well.
No.
That's how fucking bad.
Wait, Gary, Justin brought up something in the chat.
Thank you.
We forgot all about. Remember back when people wanted to cancel their network subscription and their page crashed?
The WWE Network cancel subscription page fucking crashed. It
cancellation screen crashed.
Because so many people pretty much said, fuck you, I'm done.
You want to know something? I canceled my subscription a long time ago, so I was all right. And my subscription was like, what, 2 months? That was it.
I got the free 30 days only for one reason, so I can get 2 pay-per-views for free, and then I just said, fuck off. And one of them was WrestleMania, so I pretty much saw WrestleMania for free.
Cheap bastard.
So from there,
goddamn right.
And The Rock, obviously, you knew the look on his face that it was fucking bad. He tried to do whatever he can to save his cousin Roman Reigns, be all proud, blah blah blah. No, this should have been Daniel Bryan's moment to win the Royal Rumble, but no. For this case, Daniel Bryan, he was in the greatest Royal Rumble, which I don't understand what was so fucking enjoyable about this event. It wasn't.
He now holds the Royal Rumble record that will never be fucking broken. It's like an hour and 17 minutes.
I wonder why.
But okay,
I fucking wonder why.
A lot of people are asking me, Jerome, even in your dishonorables, how the hell do you not have this match as one of your worst matches? Simple, because I had to go down like the absolute worst of the worst, and with the 2015 Royal Rumble match, there was slightly some good in it. But I said this before, and I'll say it again: if we ever did the worst booked matches of all time, this would be on there, along with the Extreme Elimination Chamber match would be on there, and many more. If you want to know how to book a fucking Royal Rumble match, watch the 92 Royal Rumble.
Or 95.
the
coast to coast, Shawn Michaels.
Even though it was 1 minute intervals, but still.
Doesn't matter.
As I was saying about this match, Roman Reigns, he fucking won this, and this just continued proving from there. And also that whole greatest Royal Rumble deal, that whole event in general, that was somehow enjoyable, which I don't fucking understand, because I saw the event myself. I gave it a fucking 2 out of 10. I don't understand what was so enjoyable about it. I thought it was a huge piece of shit, predictable waste of time that served no purpose at all. It just felt like another Monday Night Raw. The only difference is that it had a fucking Royal Rumble that lasted for ages. And here's the thing about that Royal Rumble. There was no purpose of that Rumble at all. Just to win a fucking trophy belt. That was it.
For a trophy.
Yeah, I was like, it's like, yay! Everybody gets a trophy and an A for effort.
There was no fucking purpose of that Rumble whatsoever, and I am not
a chunk of that $250 million pot.
I am not going to understand what was enjoyable about the event. I'm not going to see the enjoyable fact of that Rumble, and about this Rumble as well. I'm not going to count the Greatest Royal Rumble as a fucking Rumble match with the Royal Rumble in general. Why? Because it's, to me,
it's only a special attraction.
It serves no fucking purpose to me. So Royal Rumble 2015, to me, tops 1999 as the worst Royal Rumble, the shittiest Royal Rumble match I've ever seen.
The only funny part was Titus O'Neil doing the slip and slide. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was it.
That was awesome.
Well, I can't laugh at the joke anymore because WWE fucking ruined it.
They did. That's the problem. They try to.
How'd they ruin it?
Because they make Titus O'Neil, purposely just fumble and
over and over how many times already. But clearly the joke was funny on the first time because that was unintentional. This case they're doing it intentional, and that's killing the joke.
It is. And the thing with Titus O'Neil is if he would have been like about a couple feet further, he probably would have got killed because he would have slammed headfirst into the ring apron. And the best was they interviewed Bobby Roode, who got eliminated, and he was walking out, and he saw, like, right there, Titus going, right under the ring, and Bobby Roode's reaction when he was talking about stage was priceless. Oh, my God. Titus O'Neil, you're fucking awesome. You deserve so much better than how WWE's treating you, because you're a fucking legit athlete, fucking Florida Gator, and he's got the personality, and the motherfucker bench presses 550 pounds.
Florida Gator.
He is.
I hate the fucking Gators.
Okay.
Number one.
Okay, I have no idea what I don't know what it could be.
Stumped you, didn't I? Stumped you, didn't I?
Could it be? No, I don't know.
Well, let me just get right into it. Like I said, it's from the same WrestleMania as my number 2. Without question, the worst main event of WrestleMania history. John Cena versus The Miz.
Can I ask you a question, though? Because I remember you had Michael Polegreaser and Lawler as the worst Mania match.
Yes.
So what makes the John Cena one above that one now?
Well, these guys just didn't have chemistry. It was basically like a Raw match, a Raw main event in the WrestleMania main event.
And it was nothing but an advertisement.
It was so bad. I looked over at Joe, who I was watching it with. I was like, Joe, how long has this been going on? Like, is it over yet? It's like, thanks for the pizza, but I think I might head out. Like,
was it cheese?
Is so bad.
Was it cheese?
What do you think?
It's the grass green, Jerome.
Is the sky blue?
Yes, unless there's the eclipse.
Yeah, seriously though, these guys had no chemistry. Cena was botching everything. Miz was just being Miz. He actually got a concussion during that spot outside when they had like the fuck, I forgot the spot. I just watched it today. They went through the barricade, over the barricade, and then there was a count-out win for The Miz. And The Rock comes out, reverses it, makes the match again. Rock bottoms John Cena, Miz retains, and we get a build-up to John Cena versus The Rock at WrestleMania 28.
I fucking hated that.
Once in a lifetime.
No, once in a lifetime's like fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a once in a lifetime.
No, it's once in a lifetime if it only happened once in a lifetime. Not twice like they did last year or the previous or the year afterwards at 29.
Oh my God.
It was so freaking stupid.
Oh, the
this
double
match
count.
was just a build-up to 28, which was just a build-up to 29.
Pretty much. Yeah, it was nothing but a fucking advertisement. It was just a commercial.
Once in a lifetime, my fucking ass. I'm so mad.
You know what? Hey, when they call it the end of an era, it legitimately was the end of an era. And when that match ended, you had 80,000 people on their fucking feet.
That should have been the main event.
They were on their fucking feet giving a huge standing ovation to the three guys that lasted for 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. I was there for that.
Hell, Luke Nukem, he'll even said it himself. It's one of his favorite fucking matches of all time. It's my favorite match. Yeah, motherfucker.
I was there for that.
I'm so jealous about that. Yeah, you and Joe were. To me, it's my favorite match of all time because it brought what was so good about the Attitude Era. It had the best storytelling, and it has the greatest false finish. I thought it was fucking over. I thought it was done.
The sweet sin music into the pedigree.
I was just like, oh my God, it's over, you know? And then, it was just too good. It was all too fucking good. My favorite part is when Undertaker chokeslams the referee. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's how you do a fucking, that should have been the main event, actually. You're right.
For real. But back to 27.
Oh my God, this fucking,
jizz
and buckethead.
What a waste.
Yep.
It was a waste. It was a wasted main event. It was only just to promote next year's show. That's all it was.
And I remember when The Miz was cutting a promo against Roddy Piper, and he's like, yeah, and unlike you, I actually defended my championship in the main event at WrestleMania. And I was just like, yeah, but it was one of the worst fucking, it was like one of the worst main event matches ever.
Roddy Piper never defended it.
He actually
did defend an IC title. I know that.
And
that's one of the best match.
That is a classic match.
Damn right.
That's arguably the best match from that or Randy Savage. So
yeah, number one for me, John Cena versus The Miz from WrestleMania 27. What a waste.
If I had to calculate, that's my number 5 worst WrestleMania match of all time.
It's my number 1. So yeah, folks, that'll do it for this extravaganza we like to call the top 10 worst WWE matches of all time. Thank you to all the live folks in the chat room.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, I just want to read this real quick. I actually send the name of the match, where it took place, and what NXT episode it was. And some people actually, while listening to this, saw the match on YouTube. Luke Nukem's reaction was like, I got nothing. And then he didn't know what the... And then Justin said, he goes, I just watched that match you were talking about, Jerome. What the hell was that?
I bet Gary just did too.
I don't know if he did.
No, I didn't even bother.
Folks, yeah. I think it has to be watched because just when you thought you saw the worst match, you haven't.
Nope. This is nothing compared to that.
So, that was a lot of fun.
That was a blast.
Yeah.
I miss doing these.
As for what we're doing next, I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see because there's so much we can do.
Mm-hmm.
You have the 10 best WWE matches of all time.
Theme songs.
Didn't we do theme songs already? I remember doing it.
Remember.
And I remember you did it with JVD.
Yeah, that was like 10 years ago almost.
And I know we did the revisit of the 50 superstars, and it actually outshined your. Huh?
I'm surprised he didn't come on.
Oh yeah, what the hell happened with JVD?
Sorry.
Yeah. You know,
I don't know. Google Plus is.
Well, yeah, Google Plus. Well, you know, Double Nine. Like I said, I hope you feel better. He said he'll join us for the next one. And I want to get okay.
Yes, we did do it.
Okay, please do the top 10 best WWE matches of all time. I'll take, I do have an idea what's already on there, and I want Luke Nukem in for the most despised individuals in wrestling history because he'd be perfect for that.
I'm up for it.
Because I already know my top 5 by heart, so
let's do it.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty much a Vince Russo fucking burial.
Kevin
Dumbass, Vince McMahon, Vince McShitnuggets, Jeff. He might be up there. John Laurinaitis might be up there.
Jeff Jarrett's up there for me for sure.
Yeah. You broke how many guitars and you still didn't draw a fucking dime, dumb bitch.
made himself the world champion.
Yeah, how many fucking times? Yeah,
anyway, folks.
Yeah. Go ahead, Alexander.
Yes, thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you guys. Mr. Garrison, thank you so much. Romy, thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely.
It was nice saying peace out, baby. See you guys next time. Take it away.
Mr. Gabriel.
I got nothing except, as for this particular video, I hope everyone was feeling shitty like me, which is good. So, that is all I can really say. I appreciate going over this list, being on here, doing fun shit as always, and I'm interested to see what the next deal is going to be. Stay tuned. Shit to come as always. You may never know what's going to happen. Watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, folks, if you want to see good wrestling. Trust me, it's worth it.
Cherokee Diaz.
Exactly.
Cherokee Diaz. Absolutely. Thank you so much for everybody tuning in to the top 10 worst WWE matches of all time. What we'll do next, who knows? We will find out as time approaches. Until then, signing off for Alexander the Great and Mr. Garrison, the young assassin. This is Roman John saying, stay tuned. And once again, motherfuck. I don't even know who to say motherfuck to. Just motherfuck all these goddamn matches. No, motherfuck John Laurinaitis. Yeah, people power. Yeah, people power. People use the power to put their foot so far up your ass, you be puking out their goddamn shoelaces. Now, if you excuse me.
Cocaine powder.
Yeah, cocaine. Motherfucker looks like cocaine, that white albino. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to go and look up some sweet WW porn starring Sarah Wilson.